And I'm going to let Art tell you a little bit about himself.
My name is Hart Viges. I'm a chaplain of the Iraq Veterans Against the War chapter here in Austin, Texas, and co-coordinator with Susan Van Heidsma of Sustainable Options for Youth.
Well, welcome to the show. We're really glad to have you.
I thank you very much. I was a 9/11 baby during it's what they called us in basic training, and that's the reason why I joined the Army. I was with the 82nd Airborne Division, 1st 325 HHC Battalion Mortars. I served in OIF 1 from February. I deployed in 2003, came back January 2004, applied for conscientious objector, and was honorably discharged.
What do you say to people considering joining the U.S. military?
First of all, I encourage them to look at all aspects of that choice. I tell them to look into depleted uranium. I tell them to look into post-traumatic stress and understand what that is. I tell them about the Department of Defense number that 1 out of 3 women are sexually assaulted in the military. I talk about the racism in the military. Plenty of animosity just for regular Army life. FTA was definitely written on many walls.
What does FTA stand for?
The Army.
Some people might say, look, you volunteered, you served, you were paid, and it's over now. Why go on and on after the fact? Like, why join groups and speak out against it after it's all over for you?
Well, when you go through such an experience as war, you find all the injustices, the abuses of power that go on, the house raids that was always the wrong house, the arrests that were completely unfounded, the way that we treated the local populace. You had to find some kind of reason or justification. Mine was that we got rid of Saddam, but when I came back home, I realized that we put Saddam in power. And for my religious beliefs, there was no way that I could be a Christian and love my enemy and still hold a job in an organization that is designed to kill people and break things. I had to leave.
Can you expand a little bit more on how what you said earlier in your answer about war changes you? You never come back the same. I've never served in the military or in combat, obviously. So can you try and break that down or explain that a little bit better for a layman who doesn't know what you're talking about?
Well, when you go through such trauma, and the trauma could be of a particular instance, a day, where you see death, you participate in unjust arrest, or it could just be that every day in, day out, am I going to get hit by a mortar? Is this the day that an IED is going to blow up in my face? Is this the day a sniper is going to get the drop on me? And when you go through this, first of all, you develop post-traumatic stress. And that comes from feeling complete helplessness. And when you're in war, you feel complete helplessness. Even though you're armed to the teeth and can just level a city if you want to, the mortar round can take you out, the IED, the sniper. Every day is your last day. And you have to develop some kind of survival mentality, reactions to any type of stimuli that happens around you. Now, because it's rooted in your will to live, when you come back and leave that context of war and come back home, you get that same stimulation, whether it's a boom of fireworks or a bag of trash in the road or a loud noise at night. Because it's your survival that is at stake, you react the same way you are in war. And when you do that, you don't feel normal. You feel separate from everybody around you. And to the point of those days that are just bad, you don't want to tell your parents, your friends, the level of monstrosity that came about in your being. We used to pass out candy to little kids when they came out to our trucks. And we just got really tired of seeing little girls get some candy, and a little boy would come over and pop her and take the candy. You know, one time I saw a boy pick up a rock and was about to hit this little girl with this rock. It was bigger than my fist. I raised my rifle and screamed and tried to show him rock down. I didn't know Arabic. But he stopped, and you know, if he would have moved forward with that rock, I would have been a legitimate child killer. My finger was on the trigger. It was right. I had a beat on him. And that you can't really tell your mom. You can't tell your sister, your little nephew, what you almost did. And I saw instances over there that I kind of saw my own shift. You know, we just picked up a lieutenant from BIOP, Baghdad Airport, and he was fresh from the world. We were in for maybe 6 or 7 months, and we were driving him, since I was the 50 cal gunner on the back of an unarmored Humvee. We did a lot of escorts, and driving him to his position, we came about a roundabout. And in the way we drove, we didn't stop for anything. That was a security risk. And it was pretty heavy traffic, so we had to like kind of get in traffic and jockey. Well, this one guy with his car was jockeying with us for position. And my driver, my Portuguese baby boy, trust him more than anything, started kicking the car, the hood of the car, and he brought out the Muslim Mall, which was an iron pipe we had in our, we wrote Muslim Mall, F off Junior on the other side, and started hitting the hood of the car. And Lieutenant looked over and said, "Is he allowed to do that?" You know, he asked me. I just looked at him and I said, "Watch your sector, sir." And he faced back out and was completely scared. And that's when I realized that there's something different in me, because he was fresh from the world. He saw this as something that was wrong. To me, this was completely normal, and you know, this is how we run business. So I knew right then something really changed in me, but I just ignored it. I ignored all those feelings. I was like, I have to do my job. You know, I got to look after my brothers on my left and my right and get everybody home as best as I can, including myself. So there's a lot of repression going on over there. When I came back home, it exploded.
Well, how about when you got back home? What about other fellow combat veterans? How did they respond to your decision?
Well, most of the veterans that I met after I got out were the group Iraq Veterans Against the War, where I just fell right into and found my new brothers and sisters. Not to say that the people still in service are not my brothers and sisters still, but this was a particular tribe that I fit into quite well, and I love them dearly.
Hart, I'll give you the last word. Is there anything that we didn't talk about or that you want to go over or say that we didn't cover so far? Or anything you want to add for the viewers?
Well, I'm also a member of Sustainable Options for Youth, where we go into all the high schools and the ISD, and we table during cafeteria periods or do class presentations, where we talk to kids about military realities and offer them more positive futures, like AmeriCorps, fire department, continuing your college education.
Counter recruitment, yes.
Yes, we have a peace wheel, a penny pole, a pull-up bar, you know, pull-ups for peace.
Nice.
We got to be strong, as I teach the kids, and teach them that discipline isn't owned by the military. It's when you put your hands up on that bar is your own discipline. But this work, that work, counter recruitment, is the most important work that I've done, besides the reparation trip to Iraq, because these recruiters are lying to kids. They're telling them that the delayed entry program is a legally binding contract, which it is not, and they bully these kids who sign up. Nothing against recruiters. I go in there, I tell these kids, I've erased a lot of debts from the recruiters here, and when they want to get upset, I just smile, try to shake their hand and say, play the game. Play the game. That's what they told me in the Army.
You do your job, I'll do mine.
And if only the peace movement focused on cutting the supply line of the youth.
What a good idea. Why don't you say that again for the viewers, because I think that's worth repeating.
If the peace movement put all its power into cutting the supply line of the youth, because the people are the most valuable resource the military has. And if they cannot get more people, they cannot do these wars or have military posts in 162 other countries when there's only 190 countries on the planet. You cut off the people and the money and allow religious freedom. Because right now my conscious objection from the Army is in conflict with the taxes that I pay. It legally states that I cannot participate in war, but my real tax dollars turn into real bullets that kill real people.
Yes.
If we cut the supply line of the people and the money, we can end these wars much quicker than marching in the streets.
Absolutely. All right, Hart, you're doing great work. I hope you keep it up. Thank you so much for being with the show today, and I wish you best of luck in the future.
All right, thank you very much.